This is a dramatized reconstruction. Cold open. Every gauge in this room says everything is fine. Green lights, normal readouts, steady hums from 1,000 identical machines spinning in perfect formation exactly as they're supposed to. But deep inside Iran's Natanz nuclear facility, something invisible is already at work, tearing apart thousands of centrifuges from the inside, one by one, with no explosion, no alarm, no trace on any screen. The engineers walking these halls don't know it yet. The computers monitoring every reading don't know it either, because something has already gotten in and rewritten what normal even means. This isn't sabotage from someone standing in this room. There's no saboteur to find, no intruder to catch on camera. It's a weapon made entirely of code, invisible, patient, and by the time anyone notices anything is wrong, it will have already been hiding here for over a year. This is the story of Stuxnet, the first cyberweapon ever built to reach out of a computer and physically break something in the real world. Title: Stuxnet. Act 1. The Mystery. The trouble starts quietly in 2009. At Natanz, which is one of Iran's most heavily guarded nuclear facilities, centrifuges begin failing. Not constantly, just often enough to be strange. A bearing wears out early, then another. Engineers replace the parts, log the incidents, and move on, assuming bad luck, bad manufacturing, or ordinary wear. But the failures keep coming. And every time engineers check the monitoring systems, the gauges, the vibration sensors, the digital logs that are supposed to catch exactly this kind of problem, everything reads normal. No warning, no irregularity, just machines quietly dying for no visible reason, over and over again. Management is reluctant to escalate. Nobody wants to be the one to tell Tehran that something inexplicable is happening inside one of the country's most sensitive nuclear sites, especially when every instrument insists nothing is wrong at all. That contradiction is the first real clue, though nobody recognizes it yet. The problem was never the machines themselves. It was what the machines were reporting, quietly, convincingly, and completely falsely. Act 2. The Discovery. Thousands of miles away, in June of 2010, a small antivirus company in Belarus gets an unusual support call. An Iranian client's computers are crashing and rebooting for no clear reason. It sounds routine, until a researcher actually opens the file causing it. The file is malware, but it's enormous, roughly 500 times larger than typical malware from this era. Most malicious code is built to be small, quiet, easy to hide. This is the opposite, massive, heavily encrypted, wrapped in layer after layer of obfuscation, clearly designed to keep anyone from understanding what it actually does. Within days, the same file signature starts turning up elsewhere. Indonesia, India, dozens of other countries. Whatever this thing was built to do, it clearly hasn't stayed contained to a single client or a single country. The researchers realized they're not looking at an isolated incident anymore. They post their early findings publicly, hoping to bring more eyes onto something they don't yet fully understand. Most malware exists to steal something: passwords, banking details, personal information, as quietly as possible. This didn't seem to want any of that. It hid harder than almost anything researchers had ever seen, but not to protect stolen data. It was hiding something else entirely. Act 3. The Reveal. As security researchers around the world dig deeper into the code, they find something nobody expects. The malware is reaching out to Siemens industrial control systems, the same kind of hardware used to run assembly lines, oil pipelines, and power grids around the world. This changes everything. The code isn't touching files. It isn't stealing anything. It's talking directly to physical machinery, sending it instructions. And at the exact same time, it's feeding a completely different, falsified readout back to the humans operating that equipment. To any engineer watching a screen, everything looks fine. Underneath that screen, the machine is doing something else entirely. This wasn't malware built to steal anything. It was built to give one specific machine in one specific place false instructions, while making absolutely certain nobody watching would notice anything wrong. It had already been running undetected for over a year. This was a cyber weapon, built to physically destroy something, and it was already sitting inside Iran's nuclear program. Act 4. The Chain. The deeper researchers dig, the more disturbing the picture becomes. Stuxnet doesn't rely on a single vulnerability to spread and operate. It chains together 4 separate zero-day exploits, meaning 4 previously unknown security flaws that nobody anywhere had ever identified or patched. Most real-world attacks use one such flaw, if they can even find one. Using 4 in a single piece of malware was, at the time, almost unheard of. Each one alone could have been worth a fortune on the black market. It also carries stolen digital certificates from real, legitimate companies, allowing it to pass as trusted software on any system it touched. No antivirus flagged it. No warning screen appeared. It simply walked in the front door, disguised as something completely ordinary. And it knew details that no outsider should have had access to. The exact layout of Natanz's internal network, the precise centrifuge models in use, the specific industrial controllers running the facility floor. This wasn't a lone hacker working from a basement somewhere. This required time, resources, and an intimate specialized understanding of one country's exact nuclear infrastructure. Every signal pointed toward something built by a state, not an individual. Act 5. The bomb. Reporting in the years since has widely linked Stuxnet's creation to a joint operation between the United States and Israel, reportedly codenamed Olympic Games, though neither government has ever officially confirmed involvement. If that reporting is accurate, Stuxnet represents the first confirmed instance of a cyberweapon causing real physical destruction to another nation's infrastructure. Not a data breach, not a website taken offline. Actual machinery deliberately broken from thousands of miles away, using nothing but code. Back at Natanz, the full picture finally lands. The malware had been running inside the facility's systems for over a year, invisible, patient, quietly sabotaging equipment while every single readout insisted everything was fine. The engineers who had questioned those readings, who had been told to check their own work again and again, had been right all along. The equipment itself had been lying to them, by design. Epilogue. Stuxnet was ultimately discovered only because it broke one of its own rules. It spread beyond Natanz, out past its intended target, and onto the open internet, where researchers anywhere in the world could eventually find and study it. That single mistake is the only reason any of this story is known publicly at all. A weapon built with this much precision, discipline, and secrecy was never supposed to leave the building. It handed the world a copy of something that was designed to disappear without a trace. The line between cyberattack and physical warfare had just been erased, and it can never be uncrossed again. If a piece of code can silently break a nuclear facility, imagine what it could do to systems with a fraction of that security. This channel breaks down real cyberattacks like this one every day, the techniques, the mistakes, and what actually would have stopped them. Subscribe to the Daily SOC and turn on notifications because the next Stuxnet is already being written.